Hello knockouts, TonyaTko here, and right now we are at Santa Monica Beach and I'm recording this video about the 5 main reasons he didn't call and 4 things that you can do about that. I'm going to give you a quick roundabout, but I wanted to tell you what the gist of today's conversation is going to be about. This is about when you go on a really fantastic date and the chemistry is there, the conversation is right, everything seems right, and you may even make plans to go out again or hook up again or the future, whatever it is that you all talk about, but then you wait and the call doesn't come, and you continue to wait and it doesn't come. You may even reach out to him and he may not sound very interested, and you're not really sure what happened between day 1 and day whatever you're on, and then there's a part of you that starts to internalize it and blame yourself and try to figure out, what didn't I do to keep his attention, what's wrong with me, etc. So we're going to be talking about some of that in this video, and I'm going to say right off the bat, sometimes there is something wrong with you. Not wrong with you, but we're going to talk about some of the things that we do to set ourselves up for failure. And when we get into the 4 things that you can do, we're going to talk about being proactive in making sure that the no return call doesn't happen and what to do about that. Alright, so here for the roundabout. Over there is the Pacific Coast Highway. That's the highway that rolls up along the west coast of the United States, all the way, I think, all the way down from the bottom to the top, I think. I'm not sure. You have to ask somebody else about that. I'm a tourist too. And then there's some sort of bridge or whatever that is. And then we have out into the ocean. These are the rocks that I'm sitting on. And then we have the sun that looks like it's trying to set in the distance. We got some waves. See the waves? I saw some surfers out earlier. And we have the waves and some houses in the mountains, and then we have me. All right, so let's get right into today's video, into today's topic. Okay, why didn't he call? First and foremost, the really simple answer is he didn't want to. He didn't want to. Makes sense, right? Pretty plain and simple, but the complicated part comes in when we start talking about why didn't he want to, and that's what this video is about today. So number 1, why didn't he call? Well, because sorry, the waves. I wish I had brought my microphone with me so I could have a direct input. The waves are calming me down, so I don't want to be a little lulled, but let's jump right into it. Jump! All right. Number 1, he's not in a space in his life for a serious relationship. So let's go. A, he doesn't want a serious relationship at the moment. B, he doesn't want a serious relationship with you. C, he wants a serious relationship with you, but just not right now. And then D, he thinks having a fling with you could get messy or complicated, so he doesn't even want to go there. So so that's number 1. Number 2, it's complicated in terms of investment. The personal investment in a long-term relationship for a man is different than the personal investment for a woman, and we're going to talk about some of the socialization in the next one. Just like having a baby, the personal investment for a woman having a baby is much higher than that of a man. So women are a little more reluctant to just have children from just anyone, because number 1, childbirth can hurt. The process of pregnancy takes 9 months. It takes you off the market, and it's more the personal investment for a woman and having children is much greater than that of a man. So this is something, I use that example because I want you to try to think about this from a different point of view. Part of the reason that women are more selective with who it is that they have intercourse with is because intercourse leads to pregnancy. Intercourse also can lead to an attachment, because we have more oxytocin, and so it can become more complex for us. On the flip side, same with men when it comes to long-term relationships. And this is Number 3 and number 5 are the most important things. So if you listen, if you want to check out of the video, fast forward to number 5 and just make sure that you hear that point. Okay, because after we talk about the personal investment, we go into the socialization, and this is what I think is a really huge problem, and I'm hoping that videos like mine and other people and the mental process that you go through, share this video with other people, share your mental process with other people, because I want you to hear this, all right? The socialization that men go through, they go through the socialization where when they start growing up, people start telling them, oh, go to school, you can even travel, work, become successful, make sure that you make money, etc. The socialization that girls go through, it starts very early on, that it starts getting programmed into your mind that the main purpose for you being here is to ultimately get married and have children one day. You know, we give girls these dolls and start talking about weddings, and we start talking about the things that I remember when I was young, really young, maybe like 9, my mother and father started telling me that if I didn't learn how to keep house, that no man was going to want to marry me, and I'm not going to be able to this, that, and the other at 9. Really? So, you know, and it's I think what we do, and you know what, the reason why I laugh is because I remember rebelling against all of that. And this is a really quick segue, and we don't really have time for segues, but I'm going to take a really quick segue. It's like from the time that we come into this life as girls, we are constantly being reminded that there's something inherently wrong with us because we're female. Oh, girls don't do this, girls don't do that. Close your legs, don't sit with your legs like that. Don't talk too loudly, don't be bossy. Be sweet, be close unto yourself. Draw into yourself, be nice, do this, do that, and learn how to cook, learn how to do this because you're a girl. And it's like, it feels like being a girl is some sort of punishment. I remember not really understanding why it was that, and it's like, especially since I grew up with a brother, I couldn't, oh, there's a bird flying behind me. I really couldn't understand why there were certain things that were being imposed upon me simply for the fact that I just happened to be born female, that I had to learn how to cook, I had to learn how to clean, and a lot of the things, and it was like no one asked me what it was that I wanted. I didn't mean to go on that segue. Let's get to the next one. Now for girls, the socialization that we get is go to school, and then what else happens after school? Young girls are not typically encouraged to go travel. Sometimes we're encouraged to go work. And if we do work, a lot of us are encouraged to go get jobs in which we'll be able to find a husband who's making lots of money so that we can get married. And a lot of this stuff is programmed into us. So it's like we're not taught to go to work and to become successful by our own right. Our success is then dependent on how successful of a husband we can get. And this ties into number 5, so stay tuned for that, right? So we talk to girls about school. Some girls may have the opportunity to travel, may not even be highly recommended but it's definitely not encouraged for the most part. And then when we get into work, we don't start talking about success. We don't even start, for the most part, we don't start telling girls, we don't even instruct them on hobbies to get. You know, once we leave the school arena, most of our sports teams are left behind us. The art, the music, the different things that we would do to enrich us as human beings and participate in. I mean, for the most part, most parents don't want their children to be artists. And because I guess artists don't make a lot of money, and parents want their children to make sure that their children are going to be okay and blah, blah, blah. So the things that would enrich us as human beings, the music, the art, the hobbies, the having the things that we love to participate in. And as girls, you know, our competitive edge, our competition is never really fully nurtured. And so most of the success, most of the competition, most of the entertainment that we get in our lives comes through our romantic relationships. That's why a lot of us start to participate in relationships that are full with drama and stuff like that, because our relationships are our outlet for entertainment. So we find our danger, we find our intrigue, we find our purpose through converting this person that we've taken on this project where we have to now transform this man into a mega man so that we could hold him up and compare him against the man that our friend was able to get. And it's like our whole lives are not really our own. We live our lives for these relationships that we enter into. And so, of course, it's a driving force of yours when you go out on these dates. You're like, oh, I want to be in a relationship. I got to be in a relationship. I got to become a mother. I have to have children. I have to. It's amazing. Another segue. Like even somebody like Oprah, as successful as she is, there are people who don't consider her a success because one, she never got married, and two, she didn't have children. So I mean, I heard this a few years ago. They were like, oh, Oprah is as successful as she thinks she is or whatever. She can't keep no man, and she never had any children, so they don't really consider her, despite all of the lives that she touched and the world that she changed. Oprah changed the world as we know it. None of that really mattered because her ultimate worth as a human being, ultimate female worth, is so much wrapped around our genitalia and being underneath someone else's wing, or and then that ties into number 5, right? But we're going to go to number 4 first, the financial investment. Quite frankly, dating costs more for men. You know, as a woman, you can go out on dates with someone that you can go out on many, many dates with someone that you're feeling just a bit, you know, try to see whether you like them or don't like them. You can afford to go out on date after date after date with somebody that you may not really be feeling because you're not paying for it. When the check comes, your wallet is staying in your purse for the most part. I remember when I was in my 20s, I worked at this bar. And there was this, I don't remember, there was like some, I don't know, Super Bowl or something that was happening in Atlanta at the time. And so the place was swarming with football players. And you know my physical type. You know I like a muscular and football linebackery, right? So I met this guy, I don't even remember his name, but he was so handsome. And you know, you could look at somebody and tell that they have money. So I could look at him, I could tell that he had money. And I really wanted to impress him. And and I didn't want to seem like I was gold digging or anything like that, so I decided to pay for our meal. So we went out and I decided to pay for our meal. That damn thing was $40, and for me at the time that was a lot of money. It was $40, and I was like, my stomach sank because I was like, ooh, $40. And I started thinking, if I had to, and like nowadays, the way inflation has gone and how income hasn't kept up with our expenses, imagine if you had to spend $50 every time you went out. If you think about going out twice a week, I mean, and then you're just one person. So what if he was going out on a date with 3 people, even if it's something low like $50, right? We're talking about $150 for 3 dates in 1 week, and then we got 4 weeks in a month. So we're talking about an additional $600, and $50 is a low end estimation. So dating can become really expensive. So if there's somebody that he's not really feeling, or the relationship is not going to be the type of relationship that he, like, let's say he's only interested in a booty call, and he doesn't really think that you're going to be the booty call type. He doesn't really want to waste his time or yours, and he definitely doesn't want to waste his money. So it becomes an investment for men. So it's like, if you are going to keep going out with somebody, you better make sure that you like them. It's like a seagull right there. You see that? And the sunset, oh my goodness, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, the birds flying in the view. It's like, it's so surreal here. It's so surreal here. So let's get to number 5 now, which is my favorite, right? let's talk about the social and genetic investment that men go through. You know, for men, the genetic inclination is for them to spread their seed far and wide. For women, the genetic inclination is for them to get the best mate for their one egg. You know, women can only have one child at a time. You know, men, for genetic success, men were programmed to want to spread out far and wide. And so for women, you want to get the best man that you can get. For men, they want to get the best chances by spreading it far and wide. And so to cut off all of the other women and concentrate all of their resources on you, they have to make sure that you are the type of person that they want to concentrate those resources on. And this is for a long-term relationship or whatever type of relationship it is that he's in. This is for a long-term committed monogamous relationship. So he's going to be looking for a person who's going to be wife, mother to his children, and also a mate to him, and someone that he will share a household with. So this is where his preferences come into play. And when I said that maybe there's something wrong with you, I was just joking. But what I was really referring to is that for the type of household that he may want to have, you may not be the type of woman that he wants to be the second in command or co-pilot of the type of household he wants to run or be a part of. I mean, you never really know what it is that that particular man may want for his future wife, the mother of his children. You don't know what type of woman he may want. Maybe he wants a woman who doesn't believe in corporal punishment. Maybe he wants a woman who will stay at home, or someone who will work. Or, oh, you know something that I forgot to mention? I forgot to mention with number 4, when we start talking about relationships and pregnancies and the financial investment that a man makes. You know how men are programmed to, or people start driving into them that they need to become successful, they need to rise the corporate ranks, etc. A man that gets into a relationship, because you know, like so many women I hear, oh, but I love him right now even without any money. And that's fine, that's fine. But you have to think about it from a responsible man's point of view. Okay, he has to be able to make enough money to cover the household in case of your pregnancy, because he has to be able to make enough money to be able to maintain the lifestyle that you two have maintained on 2 incomes, and then possibly have to have that money be enough for a 3rd person as well. So he has to make enough money for 2 people and then possibly 3. Because as a woman, you know, it's like sometimes we women, we don't have large foresight. Yeah, foresight is forward, hindsight is backward. We don't have large foresight because we don't really, because we're like, oh, I like him right, I love him right now without the money. And so if you two get into a household where your lifestyle is dependent on both of your incomes, or if you're making more money than him, you will never be able to have a break in which you can stop and say, okay, I want to get pregnant, because your income is needed in that household. So what's going to happen when you guys get, let's say the mortgage is $3,000. Let's say that lifestyle is $3,000 with the cars, and maybe even $4,000. Let's say the lifestyle is $4,000 a month with the mortgage, the cars, the food, right? Okay, so he has his $2,000, you have your $2,000, or he's doing 3 and 1, however you're doing it, right? If you're covering the bulk of the expenses in the household and you're working, the household cannot do without your income. If you're covering half of the expenses and the household can't do without your income, this man has to make sure that he's able to cover your portion and his. Otherwise, you guys are going to have to sell the house, or you will never be able to take a break and have a child, and then the resentment that will come along with you never feeling as if you could ever lay your burden down is going to be tremendous. So we have to start thinking about things like that. Then you'll start resenting him, then people will start having problems, you'll feel like you're not protected and taken care of, and then it just gets messy and tricky from there. So back into number 5, right? And this is the thing that I wanted to talk a lot about. When we start talking about maybe you're not the type of woman, let me make sure, I'm going to turn away from the sun so that I can make sure that you can see me, because I want you to see my face when we start talking about this. Okay? All right, here we go. When we start talking about what type of woman he wants to be, the mother of his children, his household partner, his mate, his wife, etc. Too many of us women are coming into this relationship. This really irks me. Because I remember when I did that video about the Steve Harvey thing that he was talking about, how you're sitting on a gold mine and your vagina is your most precious gift. Too many of us are coming into the dating world sitting listen, I don't want to start screaming out here on the beach since this upsets me so much. All right. Too many of us women are entering into the dating game thinking that our vagina is our most precious gift, the best thing that we have to offer about ourselves, and a gold mine sitting on a bucket of gold, right? It's a vagina. It's not the best part of you. And when we start talking about the socialization and all of the things that lead up to you entering to the dating world thinking that your vagina is the best part of you, it sets you up at a disadvantage, because you never take the time to cultivate yourself as a being. You never take the time to cultivate your spirit, to cultivate yourself as a woman, to get to know yourself as a woman. There's no space. You go from being someone's daughter to someone's student, and then you're encouraged to jump right in from being a student into perhaps being someone's employee, and then being someone's wife, then someone's mother. When is the time along there that you get to know yourself as a woman, that you get to build yourself up into the type of woman that you want to be, so that when you come out into the dating world, because you know what, all too often we think that men should not have standards, and all too often men pretend as if they don't, but there's a part of them, there's something in them that just doesn't resonate with certain women. Something just doesn't resonate. And the woman is like, oh, what can I do to make sure that I keep his interest? Oh, golly. Number one, become yourself. Become yourself. Grow into you. Become who it is that you were meant to be. It's like, how do you come to me and ask me a question about how it is that you can alter yourself into being the type of woman that he wants you to be? Aren't you out there looking for a partnership where you can enter into a union, where you guys can build a household together, and instead of concentrating on being the person that you were meant to be, you're busy trying to contort yourself into the type of woman that he may want you to be? And then what happens after you contort it and you enter into the relationship and you're not able to live up to, you're not able to expand or broaden into who it is that you want to be? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. It's like you come in, you don't feel that, oh God. You know what? It's too upsetting. It's too upsetting because women love the notion that all you need is a vagina. All you need is a vagina, and the worst part about it is that, honey, if vagina is all that you have to offer, baby, you don't have much, because every single woman out there has a vagina. What is it about the person who houses that vagina that makes you special? What is it about you that makes you special? Just a bit, the tightness of the wetness, the depth of it, the nooks and crannies inside of it. If that's all you have to offer, honey, you don't have much. You just got a hole. A fleshlight can replace you then. Vibrating fleshlight then, or one that can swirl around on his penis. Doggone it. Any woman can take your man if that's the case. Any woman. Let's get into the 4. Let me calm down. The 4 things you can do to circumvent that, change that, or whatever. Number 1, trust him. He's not calling you, there's a damn reason. I didn't mean to use the word damn. Let me become happier. Oh, okay. Trust him. If he's not calling you, there's a reason. There's something about that man's preference, the type of life that he wants to live, who he knows himself to be at that moment. You have to trust him that he knows what's best for him. Okay? You don't know him as well as you think you do. Too many of us go out on 1 or 2 dates. We're talking about this, our future husband. Okay. And then you see it's like, it's this whole pressure. This whole pressure that we're under, that we have to go out there and get a man and keep a man, and our worth is tied around all of that. I beseech you, go out there and do you. Please come into yourself as a woman. Let's go on to number 2. What type of woman would your dream man want? You know, it's like, if you think about, it's like, you have a type of man that is your dream man. If you think about that man, think to yourself, what type of woman would that man want? And it's too bad that too many of us are not even the type of woman that our dream man would want. If you were to ask yourself right now, what type of woman would my dream man want? What would she be like? What type of habits would she have? How educated would she be? How in shape would she be? What type of lifestyle does she live? How does she carry herself? If you were to think about your dream man and who you could imagine him with, would you even imagine your dream man with a woman like you? So my question to you is, why aren't you doing the things that you need to do to become the type of woman that your dream man would want? So that way when you go out there on a date, you don't have to be like, oh, how do I contort myself into being who it is that he wants? No. You go out there and you figure out who it is that you are, and you go to match yourself with your equal. Or somebody that you feel that you're a good match for, so that you don't think that anyone is doing you any favor, going out there looking for Superman or some Captain Save-em. Going out there looking for some man who's in shape and you yourself don't eat well. Going out there looking for somebody who has all of this money and you can't put yourself together. You want somebody to save you. Here we go. Oh, that was number 3. That was number 3. Number 3 is develop yourself. Get some hobbies. Learn who it is that you are as a woman and know what it is that you bring to the table, so that you don't think that anyone is doing you any favors. Who are you? Who are you as a being, as a person? What do you do for fun? Or is he gonna be your fun? See, there's so much going on. The man is your entertainment. The man is your thrill, your area of danger. And then he's also your psychiatrist too. It's like too many of us are not really taking care of ourselves, and we're going into these relationships expecting these men to save us in every way possible. Financially, socially, spiritually, sexually. We're going out, coming to the table wanting to be saved, and the only thing that we're bringing in tow is our pum pum. Come on, all you're bringing is your vagina to the table? Please, develop yourself. Number 4, timing. Choose a man who, number 1, number 4, why am I saying number 1? Number 4, timing is everything. Timing is everything. Go after you develop yourself and you become the woman that you were meant to be and that you're happy with, and that you know that your dream man would want a woman like you. Timing. Date men who are ready to settle down. All too often, too many of us are going out on these dates, and we're talking to, listen, don't be afraid to let them know what it is that you want. I remember when I was in my 20s, guy told me he doesn't like dating women in their 30s because on the first date they're asking him questions. Where does he see himself in 5 years? When does he want to settle down? When does he picture himself being married? Does he feel like he's marriage material? That they're asking him these questions, and he was like, I don't like women in their 30s because they're too desperate on the first date. They're trying to see if you're, listen baby, you ain't no time to damn waste. A man who is ready to answer those questions, and he's looking forward to it, because you know what? He's asking you the same questions, trying to figure out if you want to settle down, trying to figure out what type of wife and mother to his children that you will be. Find a man who is ready. There are men who are ready. Unfortunately, what we're doing is we're setting our sights, because of this whole you can't keep no man foolishness, we're setting our sights on men who are not ready. And in order not to be those quote-unquote desperate women that those other men said they didn't like, we're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be the cool down chick. I'm gonna be like, I don't want no relationship, I don't want marriage. And you setting yourself up for failure, because on day 1 he asked you what you wanted. You were like, you didn't want marriage and you didn't want a relationship, and then now all of a sudden you're in the situation and you're like, yeah, deep in your heart you really knew that you wanted it. I don't understand. It's like, okay, if there's a door-to-door salesman coming and he's like, would you like to buy some encyclopedias? And the person is like, no, I don't want encyclopedias, right? And the person is like, well, you know what? I'll give you the encyclopedias for free. You could use them, finger through them, poke through them, rip through them, and I'll come back in 90 days, and if you don't want them, I'll take them back. Okay. You and I all know that when we go to the supermarket and we start squeezing on some fruit, or we start looking at something, we don't take the one that we picked up and squeezed and fingered and finagled all through. We go and we grab the one in the back. The one that is not that touched. So I don't know what your method is. I don't know how that method is going to get you where you want to be. I don't know how it's going to get us where we want to be. If we go into a situation saying, okay, well, I really don't want a long-term relationship, just finger me and finagle me and handle me for all of this time that you choose, and when you're tired, then I hope that you want to buy me. Listen, come on. Come on. They done got all the milk then. Okay, I'm just joking. I didn't mean to bring the milk and the cow in it. I didn't like that one when I was growing up either. So that is number 4. Oh goodness, 30 minutes we've been talking. Listen, let me get out of here. I would love your comments below. If I left out anything, please add it. Why do you think he didn't call? Plain and simply, he didn't want to. Okay, no. Answer the question below. In your opinion, if I left anything out, put it below. Share this video with other people. Come over to my website, TonyaTko.com. That's Tonya what? With an O, that's right. And make sure you download my free guide on how to truly love yourself and heal old trauma. So that is the full crux of it. That's everything right there. Hug me. I love you all so very much. Tell me what you think of my new hair. I love you. Hug me, hug me. Oh, love. I love you all more than you can ever imagine. Now go out there and love one another. But what? Most importantly, love yourself. And when you love yourself and you're acting in a self-loving way, you honor yourself by being truthful with other people. And if they're not down for the get down, then you have to move on and find somebody who is. I talked about this in that video when we start talking about, I talked about this in the video, how to make a man commit. I talked about how a woman chooses. So let me get out of here before we talk for too long. Do you want to see the sunset before we go? I'm going to end on the sunset. So listen, I love you. I love you. Love yourself. All right.